I've been vacant for about a week or so, a little more than that. Had some personal business to take care of. Plus, I was kind of chomping through the events of the past week and a half or whatever it's been. With all the good news and bad news and all the in between that's going on and stuff. So today I just wanted to talk about one thing in politics, and that was um, our the state of New Jersey, and with the potholes and the sinkholes and you know um, just crumbling infrastructure in that regard, with the bridges and all that kind of stuff. And as many of you who live in the New Jersey area have heard about the sinkholes on Route 80, and one opened up a couple of days ago on 287. And as you know, 80 is an east to west coast highway, and it's a major artery to get people in and out of the city and to the Poconos and things like that. And our beloved governor had the uh, secretary of the transportation department up here and visualizing and doing what they were going to do. But here's the thing: they just mentioned that they want to expand the highway that goes to the Lincoln Tunnel in New Jersey, and they want to expand it by two lanes, build a new bridge around it, and all that kind of stuff, which is all fine and well. But how about we fix the roads first, the ones that exist, and make sure that people are safe on the roads and that they're not worried about going over a bridge and falling off the bridge because the bridge collapses, or winding up driving into a 75-foot sinkhole because the road crumbles underneath them. And we should be able to we should have to fix that before we start worrying about buying anything, building anything new. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I mean, common sense would dictate fix what you got first and then rebuild, and then you can build new stuff. That's just the bones are there. Just it needs to be it's like an old house. You don't tear it all the way down. You just refurbish it and rebuild it. And you leave the guts to where to the to the makers of the house in the first place. Generally, that's usually pretty good because the old time construction is a lot better than the newer stuff, because the wood was harder back then and whatever else. And you have true measurements, and a 2x4 isn't actually a 2x4 anymore, and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into it, and we certainly have enough money because our state gets a little over $7.25 billion from the federal government to take care of this stuff. We pay a 44, almost a 45 cent gas tax that's supposed to go to the infrastructure and keeping the roads safe and fixing the potholes and the sinkholes and all that kind of stuff. And if you equate that to the amount of drivers, and if you average that out for, let's say, an average of about an 18-gallon tank, okay, and my car, I have a 20-gallon tank. My wife's car is about, I think, a 16-gallon tank. So if you average it out to about 18, that turns out to be roughly nine. I'm sorry, $26 million on top of that. That comes from our gas taxes, which in my case would it cost me an extra $9.58 every time I fill up the gas tank. Um, why are we spending? Why are you charging us the money if you can't fix the problem? I mean, it seems like it would be enough money. I mean, I realize that you're dealing with unions, and I realize that you're dealing with overtime, and the expedition of things. It costs you more if you're going to run 24 hours a day to try to get it fixed and repaired. But I don't see it. I mean, if you're getting almost 8.5, almost $8 billion of revenue coming in, plus whatever else sources you are using, instead of squandering it, maybe we ought to doge New Jersey and find out where all this waste is going. Because they seem to be doing all right with, and I know people don't like it, but I have no problem with them going to try to find where leaky money's going. I mean, Nancy Pelosi doesn't need $1,000 warm toilet seat. I'm sorry. She can sit on a cold one in the middle of the winter, and just like everybody else does. I realize she's got a personal bartender in AOC. Bernie just wants to take money from everybody and anywhere, even though he is he's a millionaire himself. But hey, they don't see it that way. It's just they come to guys like you and me and the average Joe that are trying to get by, and especially in a state like New Jersey, we are the highest taxed state in the country, and I happen to live in Bergen County, which is the highest population of 5 states in this country. All right, we have more people living in our county than in 5 states, and but yet we live in complete disarray when it comes to our infrastructure. And then what they want to do is they want to mandate everybody going out and buying electric cars. Well, by 2035, everybody's got to have an electric car. No, let me choose what I want. Electric cars are not necessarily the best thing for this country. First of all, they weigh more, would put a toll on the roads, which already are crumbling. So why not throw a car that's 1,000 pounds more in weight on a road, or a pickup truck that's roughly 3,000 pounds more, and you're going to put them out on the roads, and don't even talk about what the semis and the tractor trailer trucks are weighing. They're 15, 20,000 pounds more than what the ones are on there. There's a reason there's weight limits on those roads. But if you're going to put, say 100,000 trucks out there with an average weight of 20,000 pounds more, what's that going to do to the roads? What's that going to do to the infrastructure? Not to mention the fact you can't charge those things in a expeditious way. So that costs you money in shipping costs, because now the people are delayed because they have to sit in a rest stop for 3 hours in order to get enough juice to go to the next rest stop to get more juice. I mean, it's just stupidity. Not to mention that the electric cars are not necessarily safer, because statistically they don't stop in the same range because they have more weight behind them. So if you're going 70 miles an hour or 65 or 85 or whatever the speed limit is, because you got people that are doing 90 in a 55 mile an hour zone, but they don't care about anybody else except them, and they have to get somewhere in a hurry. That's not going to stop in the same amount of time as a gas car does, and because you've got that extra weight. It's just, that's science. That's inertia. Once motion starts, it's hard to stop it, especially if you got a lot of weight behind it. So let's common sense take over. Let's get this stuff fixed before we start worrying about making everybody go out and buy an electric car or an electric electric stove or whatever. I mean, I want my choices. I'm sorry, but I'm not into allowing the government to tell me what, when, and how to think and what to think. It's just, I didn't get to be 65 years old being a complete moron. Obviously, I survived. And unlike something people that, well, we have to take care of them. We have to do this. We have to do that. Like the immigrants that are coming here illegally. Okay. We have to take care of them. No, we don't. They're not supposed to be here in the first place. If they did it by the right way, then, we're okay with that. But if they're just coming over because they feel like it, then that's not acceptable. Why do we have to lay money out of our pockets to cover them? We got guys that fought for this war, fought wars for this country, and they're living on the streets. But you're putting up migrants in a 5-star hotel in New York City. That's bullshit. Anyway, I digress. That's my political point for today. We're going to move on to something a little bit more contentious, if you will. I don't know if that's the case or not, but you got a couple things going on. You got great, sports opening up everywhere. Baseball season opens up tomorrow, and everybody is, looking forward to that. People, it's a time of year where everybody's teams are in first place, and they're all going to win a World Series, and by mid March, by the end of April, the season's over because they've had a couple bad stretches, and they're never going to make the playoffs now, and whatever. But that's baseball, and that's the way it goes. And you know, um, I'm not a huge fan of baseball. I watch it occasionally. I don't follow it as closely as other people do. But I get it. I mean, I played ball when I was a kid, and I played ball in high school, a little bit in college, and I played, softball, and until I was in my mid to late 40s before my knees and my calves and hamstrings and Achilles started going out on me. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I know a little bit about baseball. I don't follow it as closely as I used to. That's partly because of the bloated salaries and that kind of thing. It's just sad for Yankee fans this week that their one of their former players, Brett Gardner, lost his son to some sort of an illness that they're trying to figure out, and while they were on vacation. And I'm sorry, but as a parent, I'm not a Yankee fan, but as a parent, um, I don't think any parent, I couldn't imagine burying your child. I think that's just an incomprehensible sadness, and like I said, even though I'm not a Yankee fan, I'm a fan of humanity, and I feel for the Gardner family, and we should all raise our prayers to the family, and that they get through this, and that the good Lord takes care of them, and let them know that their kid is in a better place. It's just always sad to hear something like that. So that's my thought on that one. And of course, you got the NCAA tournament going on, which is always a big thing. I'm not paying as much attention to it this year. I'm not a basketball fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I do enjoy watching some of the games with the NCAA tournament because these kids are playing for the school. They're not playing necessarily for the money. Although now with the incentives that they're getting for getting paid for their likenesses and their jerseys and whatever else, I mean, these kids are already getting paid a lot of money to play basketball at one of the bigger universities. I mean, you go to a University of Michigan and you're on a free ride, you're getting $75,000 of salary basically, because that's what the tuition is. If you're going to an Ivy League school, that could be higher, and if you're going to a community school, well, then you're probably not paying as much. But schools not, the universities are not cheap anymore. They never were, but they're exorbitant now. But it's exciting for the people that are in it. Another reason that I usually pay attention a little bit is that um, I'm usually in some kind of a pool, whether it be a bracket pool or one of those pools where you pick a number and that's your team until they get knocked out. And this year, none of my buddies that usually run pools were around to put a pool together, so I am saving a couple of bucks in that respect. But I do enjoy occasionally checking in to see, like the past weekend when St. John's, which is from obviously from New York. If you follow, everybody knows that if you're following sports at all. And they were in the tournament. They got knocked out by an 8 seed. I think it was an 8 seed that they got knocked. Maybe I'm sorry, it was a 10 seed that they got knocked out by. So, there's upsets, and that always happens. I always enjoy watching the twos get beaten by a 15 or a 16 occasionally. Rarely will beat a one. There was a small college from New Jersey a couple of years ago that knocked out a number one and got to the Elite Eight, which was a huge accomplishment for a school that I think their enrollment was somewhere around 15 or 100 or 2,000 kids, and they put out a basketball team that was able to play with the big boys, so to speak. So there is that, and of course you hear about football and hockey's getting to the final stages where the best part of hockey is coming up, which is the Stanley Cup playoffs. And as a Devil fan, we're holding our breath and crossing our fingers because of the last couple of weeks. They've been shit in the bed. I realize that they have some major players out that are out of commission either for the season or for the rest of the year, or at least the regular season. At least two of their better defensemen. But hey, everybody goes through it. All the teams have the same issues. It's just a matter of getting hot at the right time, and hopefully, you know, the goalie Markstrom can come back from recover for the way he played prior to his knee injury and get back into that zone. Otherwise, it's going to be if the Devils do get into the playoffs, it'll be a really quick exit if they can't start getting their shit together. So, but that's that. You got to do what you can do, and you root for the team that you root for. I know some of my buddies that are Ranger fans are kind of some of them at least have thrown in the towel for their season, which will probably end when the regular season ends, and the Islander fans still have some hope. And the one thing that all Ranger, Islander, and Devils fans can unite on is that nobody likes the Flyers. So if you're from Philadelphia, that's just the way we feel here in Jersey. I know in South Jersey you're a bunch of Philly fans down there, but that you're outcasts as far as the New Jersey, New York metropolitan area as far as hockey teams go. So anyway, that's just the way it is. You pick your team and you stick to them, and you're true and diehard to them, and you hope they do the best. And the one thing that does annoy me is when I hear people say, "Well, we need to do this or we need to do that." No, you don't own the team. You don't need to do anything. You just need to root them on. That's your job. You don't own the team. You don't pay the players. Well, I guess in an off-brand way, we do pay the players because we watch the games and they get television revenues from that. So yeah, we do pay them, but not like the owners of the teams or the syndicates that own the different clubs and whatever, like that kind of thing. So anyway, with that, guys, hope you all had a great week. Sorry it took a little while to put another one of these together. I'm sure I'm going to come up with something a little bit more fiery and in the next couple of days or so. Been, like I said, sorting through which way I'm working out some technical stuff to try to make this a little bit better and a little bit more enjoyable for everybody. So with that, I wish you all the best. God bless you all. Thanks again for listening. If you do like what you're hearing, please pass it along to your friends and family. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can go to my webpage, which is www.drunkdutchman.com. And you click on one of the links that'll take you to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, X, TikTok. I'm kind of worried about whether I'm going to continue to do that or not because they cut me off after 10 minutes. So, if you're looking for full episodes, then that's where you should go, is to the webpage and look it up on one of the other social medias outlets that I'm subscribed to. Anyway, again, folks, have a great afternoon. Hope all is well. Stay safe, and let's just keep trying to pull together and work as a unit, and as they say in sports. All right. God bless you all. Have a great day.